men marry women that they don't love often. And I remember seeing this viral video of this older man, and his message was to younger men, telling them, do not marry the woman that you want. Instead, marry the woman that wants you. Because the woman that wants you is going to be more committed to you. She's going to want to stay with you more. And rather than the woman that you want, because the woman that you want likely doesn't want you back the same way.
So, and this is the reason why a lot of men end up marrying somebody who's a maid but not a friend. This is the reason why she's washing your clothes. She's doing everything that you want her to do, but you don't want to talk to her. She easily irritates you because you don't even like her.
Well, I've talked to several married men who told me that they don't like their wives. I asked them, well, are you at least friends with your wife? You know, like, friends.
I bet they do. I bet they do everything for them, though.
So many men seem to generally dislike and seem to be annoyed by women they love but don't like. What I've both seen and learned as I've grown is that men will marry women who serve them even if they don't like them. That's how patriarchy conditions them. For example, if you ask a cis man what he likes about his partner, he'll soon begin listing the ways in which she serves him. You know what I mean? Like, I think society conditions men to not like women. Like, you love them, you feel a sense of duty towards them, you get one and you take care of them because that's what men do, we're taught. And you're hearing your whole life from church, the men in your life, the media, that women talk too much, they don't listen, they're disagreeable, they're emotional. Cis men tend to like other men in non-romantic ways. They like being around their guys and spending time with them, and sometimes these men talk to each other about how much they don't like their wives. But men will marry women who serve them, who are submissive and obedient and who know their place. Because as I've said, in the eyes of patriarchy, there can be no relationship without control.
There can be no relationship without control. So it's all about control. Of course, that's what the patriarchy made it to be all about. A lot of men out there marry women they don't like. They marry women that can serve them. Why am I acting surprised to that? It's very common in our society. We see that every single day. Women are suffering and smiling in their marriages. Women are going through hell in their marriages. Hello fam, in today's video we will be talking about why men marry women they hate. Yes, that's a topic. A lot of men out there are not with the women they love. Rather, they are with the women that they feel like they can control, the women that they feel like can serve them, the women that are willing to serve them and submit to them 100%. Those are the people that a lot of men call wife material. Those are the people that a lot of men hurriedly rush into marriage with, because they can control those people and their needs will be met by such women. I have more interesting topics coming up in this video. Let's get started.
What if I say I want to marry you for love?
Okay, that's nice and sweet.
But it's only love. I want something from you, whether it's your money or your love. So when I say I want to marry you for your money, it's so insulting because I'm actually saying, can I get the money without you?
Without the love or
without marrying you? But I can't, right?
No.
Okay, so I'll marry you. It is so insulting, right?
Yes.
So if I say I want to marry you for your looks, it's the same thing.
Right.
Does not make a marriage. You don't need to be married to love. And if you love someone, you don't need to marry them. So the two are completely separate issues. Love and marriage do not go together like a horse and carriage. So don't marry for love. Marry for another person in your life. And if you have another person in your life, you're going to love them. They're in your life. Same thing is true with marriage. Doesn't mean a partner. So you can't marry. The misconceptions in marriage is, I will get married and you will make my life better. Wrong attitude. We will get married and I will make your life better. That's what I really want to do. I don't want to use you to improve myself. I want to do for you what makes your life better, easier, more meaningful.
Why do many men marry if they don't feel love? Because marriage is not for love. I keep telling y'all. Somebody told you that, but it's just not true. It's just not true. Marriage, the first marriage was not for love. Okay. It was for property. Okay. It was for protection. Okay. It's not for love. There are so many arranged marriages in the world still today. It's not for love. Okay. Only poor people marry for love. And then they figure out that marriage is not created for love. They feel stupid. Love doesn't need contracts. Love doesn't need paperwork. Love doesn't need courthouses. Think about it. Why do rich men get married? To preserve their legacy, to pass their money on, generational wealth. Think about this. legally. Nobody can come and take that crap because they got papers. No woman can pop up and say, this is my man, not yours. Bitch, I got paperwork. It's mine. I'm getting all the money. You know I don't curse. Excuse me. I got caught up in the moment. But yes, just like you got paperwork on your animals. When they come up missing, you got that chip in them, you got the paperwork, that's your dog. The vet will call you, excuse me, we found your animal. Okay, I'm going to come pick them up.
So I saw a post that someone posted with Kevin Samuels, and sometimes I don't agree with him, but this one I do. And he was asking a woman how long should she wait for a man to propose, and she kept saying a year and a half, year and a half, year and a half. And he said 6 months. Because I've said this before, a man knows when he's ready to get married. A man, he said this, and I'm going to quote, that a man marries because he's ready for a wife, not necessarily love. A man don't have to be in love with you to marry you. Most women, I said most, are emotionally attached and in love. And so men marry because they're ready to get married, not necessarily because they're in love. And women marry necessarily most of the time because they're in love, and it comes from an emotional place. Not all in all cases, but I agree with that. Think about it. Originally, in many cultures, even in the Bible, marriage was business. Men didn't get married because they were in love. Many men that are in corporate America, it looks good to have a wife. They're not necessarily in love. Even preachers do it. Don't mean they're necessarily in love. They marry because they're ready for a wife. Go with God.
I agree with them 100%. I know a lot of you might not agree with me, and a lot of you might also not agree with them. That's okay. I've said this before in one of the videos I made in the past, that marriage is give and take. Why didn't you go get married to someone that was on the street? Why did you look for someone that ticked all the boxes you had? Why did you get married to someone that is in college, someone that has a job? It's because you feel like the person meets your standard, the person can add to your life, the person can make life easier for you. It's give and take. It's give and take. You give and the person gives back to you. When they talk about arranged marriages, what is common amongst arranged marriages is this: family give their child to another family that they feel like can take care of their child. In rare occasion, do you see a family giving up their child to a family that is suffering, that is doing worse than themselves? It happens, but it's not common. So marriage is business, like they rightly said. It's business. And the sprinkle lady said, poor people get married for love. I'm not sure about that. That's what she's saying. I'm not sure about that. But marriage is business. And for men, they understand this whole stuff, that marriage is business. You want to get married to someone that will add value to your life, someone that would make life easier. Not all men. Some men are out there looking for slaves, people that will make their life easier, people that would cook, clean, and do their laundry and all that. So they go for a woman that can do that, a woman that is willing to serve, a woman that they can control, a woman that is submissive. I know you might ask, if they're looking for someone that would cook, clean, and do all the house chores, why didn't they go look for a maid? You know, when you look for a maid, you have to pay the maid. But when you get a wife, you don't have to pay your wife. She's going to cook, clean, and then she's still going to service you in bed. So it's free package. You don't have to pay after paying the one-off fee of the bride price and all that. So it's easier marrying the woman than paying a maid, because when it comes to a maid, you have to keep paying her. So men understand this business. You know, when it comes to decision making, men can easily detach from emotions. Men can silence the emotions they have in them and think without emotions. But oftentimes, women are caught being entangled in their feelings. Oftentimes, women are caught making decisions with emotions, always emotional, can't think and reason without emotions. Do you get? Not all women, a lot of women are always emotional, and most of the times they make decisions based on emotions, why men make decisions based on their reasoning, their logic, reality. I'm not saying that when you're emotional, there's no reality in that, but when you allow emotions make you make decisions, you might not be thinking right. But when it comes to men, mostly, not all men, they try to keep emotions aside and think of what is best for them. I would love you to also know that there are other marriages out there that the man saw the woman, fell in love with her, and decided to marry her. Some people just get married and then they find love. Some people just get married and love comes into it. It also happens. But what is common out there is that a lot of men are getting married to women they don't like, women they don't love. They just go married to her because of business, and the woman herself is not even aware in her head, oh, this man is good looking, or this man loves me, or it's going to be based on love and all that. But this man does not feel that way towards her in any way. He just thinks she's the right person for the job, and then he got married to her.
Nothing hurts more than not being able to forget about someone who's already forgotten you. I got off with the phone yesterday. It was the last time we were going to talk. I asked her, can you please leave your new boyfriend and come back to me? We knew each other for almost 3 years, dating this guy for like a couple months now. And she's like, no. And I know it's dumb, right? Talked about having kids together. She tells me that she still loves me. She tells me that she wishes it was me, but this guy gives her everything that I don't. And that's fair, I guess. But damn, the pain is unbearable. I was at work, or I'm on break right now, right? And I was just sobbing my eyes out. I'm trying to fucking pipette and shit. I have like my gown on and everything. I'm just fucking sobbing, dude. Imagining her head on my shoulder. Imagining the way it used to feel when I would hug her. Imagining the way she would caress my ear as we would drive. Damn, I really wish I had a time machine so I could go back and fix things and not make the mistakes that led to where I am right now. I genuinely don't even know if I'll ever be able to love again, dude. I mean, that's dumb to say, right? Because like right now it's really painful. I don't know. She took a chunk of my heart. I think what also makes it really hard is knowing that she is happy with somebody else. I've seen posts where it's talking about the importance of loving without possession. Like that's true love. So I should be happy for her that she's happy, right?
I've never understood the narrative of men don't marry who they love. They just marry who they can when they're ready to get married. To me personally, that sounds like settling, and I don't know why you would want to settle, especially in marriage. I've never really believed in just doing things to do it, just to say, oh, I'm married, oh, I have kids, I have the child that I want. But if y'all are really out there doing that, I think y'all should stop doing it, because you ain't hurting nobody. The only thing you're doing is hurting yourself and that woman you're with. Because you know and I know, if you're not with the person that you genuinely want to be with, you're going to hurt that person in some way, shape, or form. It doesn't have to always be physically. It could be mentally or emotionally, because you know you're not going to be as willing to work as hard to work on that relationship and or take care of that person's needs mentally and emotionally. Like, you just know, because you're going to get irritated, and after a certain amount of time, you're going to be fed up with the situation. But now you have a wife, you have kids, and what, you're just going to throw that away? And in reality, that's all because you decided just to be with this person just because, so you could get the title and or you could have these kids that you always wanted.
Do you think a lot of men are settling in marriage? I think so. A lot of men are settling in marriage. Some men, once they are 35 and they feel like they are financially stable, they are ready to marry. They don't mind the person. They just want someone that is willing to walk that journey with them. And then they are willing to get married to that person. And I don't think anything is wrong with that, if you ask me. For me, if I were to think logically about this, I would go for someone that is willing to make a marriage work than getting married because I love someone. Because love can blind your eyes to seeing people's bad behaviors and all that. But if you have a conversation with someone, you tell the person, you know what, this is how I feel towards you. I don't know much about you, and probably you might feel the same way towards me, and I want to settle. I want to get married. And if you're willing to get married, we can come together and make this thing work. Our finances, our behaviors, our shortcomings, our baggages, we can make it work for both of us to have a successful marriage. And I think that should be the way it should go, if you ask me. Because if both parties are willing to make it work, with time, love is going to come in, because I believe if you show a lot of care to someone, especially women, they will start catching feelings. Even men, both parties will start catching feelings. Love will come in. If you treat someone nicely, if you're always there for them, if they believe that they can trust in you, if you've proven to them that you are dependable, you are someone that is reliable and someone that is trustworthy, over time, they are going to love you. You're going to fall in love with you. So for me, I don't have anything against arranged marriage. Honestly, I don't. As long as both parties are very much aware of the situation, I'm not against people settling as long as both parties are aware of the situation. I'm against the one that they use love to blindfold people, because once people hear I love you, I'm in love, then it's like they lose their senses. They don't focus on what they're supposed to focus on, because when you're getting together with someone, people are coming with their own flaws. You have to ask the right questions. You have to sit down and have the proper conversation. How are we going to deal with the finances? Where are we going to stay? Who will be paying this? How much do you make in a month? Oh, this is your attitude, I don't like it. This is your behavior, I don't like it. How do you treat other people? How do you see my family? Have the right conversation. But mostly, once love is involved, people feel some certain type of way to have a certain kind of conversation. Me, I will always say, put love at the back of the seat. Let's face facts. Talk about things that we are supposed to talk about. And when you iron things out and people are at peace with each other, then love can move forward. That's the way I think. That's the way I say it anyways. Let me know what you think about that. Do you think settling with someone that you don't like is something that you're most likely to regret later in the future? I think if you settle with someone that you feel like you will never like, someone that you might never have feelings for, that's what the problem is. If you have to settle with someone that is of your standard, someone that ticks those boxes of yours, that you have reasons to like the person. Don't go and settle with someone that you feel like is beneath you, beneath your standard. You would never have reasons to love that person. Rather, you'll be seeing the person as a maid. You'll be seeing the person as below you, not up to you. That's what I think. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section.
Here are 2 things you need in order to be friends or date someone who is an overthinker. An overthinker is not just someone who thinks about the details about anything. It's mostly someone who makes up all the scenarios of the things that could possibly go wrong about a friendship or relationship or a decision or anything like that. And it's mostly done because of that helpless feeling people have about the uncertainties of life. I know it can be exhausting for them and for you who are around them. But if you want to continue being with them, these are 2 things I want to leave with you. And number 1 is clear communication. It's not enough for you to tell them, oh, you can come if you want to. It would be nice if you say, oh yeah, I'd like you to come. I want you to be there. I, for instance, one of the things I do with overthinkers is that I don't just say, oh, I have to go, my battery is low. I take a screenshot of my battery and share with you. But of course you have to understand, and they have to understand, that you're not doing this because you're scared of them. It's just something you do out of the beauty of your heart. When you're communicating with them, don't leave all these spaces for them to come and start filling up with scenarios. Try and be clear. Number 2 is to reinforce their anchor.
I want to know, black women, does the black community operate with a poverty-based mindset? Now, a good friend of mine sent me, my content mentor, Nicole Michelle, sent me a video about Nick Cannon, and this fool said monogamy. He knows monogamy is not for him. He knows that, he can't just be a one-woman man. And the thing that is baffling me is that this man has how many baby mamas? And all these women know about each other, according to what he says. And I'm going to do a much longer video on Nick Cannon specifically, because I think his ideology has to be stomped out of the black community. I don't understand why we as a culture have become so accepting of trying to advocate for non-monogamous relationships that doesn't benefit the end product of any good union, of any good relationship, which is children. And I tell this to people all the time. I remember having a debate with a guy on the LaPeep show, and he said that as a man, there's nothing wrong with having more than one wife. And I said, oh, well, okay, sure, not for you, but the kids. You can't tell me that a man can raise and effectively manage more than one household, where because the amount of time he's going to spend with the children is going to be different. Well, so one of these babies is getting more attention than somebody else. And then on the larger point of it, he said, well, as long as the man has the money, then nothing else matters. And there are women that I've heard say this on podcasts. Well, if he has a bag, it don't matter if he cheats. If he has money, I'm going to let him get away with this. I'd rather cry in a Bentley than this and that. Do you understand that is indicative to me of a poverty-based mindset, where as long as somebody can put up some paper in your pocket, you're accepting of promiscuity, you're accepting of that's legitimate misogynistic behavior, and you're accepting of substandard treatment for yourself, all in the name of you got some money in your pocket. See, that's what I mean that's what the Bible meant when he said the love of money is the root of all evil. The thing that is killing me in our community, there are far too many men and women that misvalue each other. There are men going out here saying, well, as long as I can pay for it, as long as I can pay for it, it's good. There are women that as long as he can pay the price, for this box, he can gain access to the box office. That mentality has to be stomped out. That mentality has to be stomped out. Black women, I am not saying, and I would not be dumb enough to say this applies to a lot of y'all. I would not be saying that. But what I am noticing is that a growing percentage, because it's not large, but a growing percentage of women are becoming accepting of substandard treatment from wealthy men. Just because he got money does not change the value in you. Period. Point blank. End of story. And I will never understand how this mentality is still alive today and in fact perpetuating itself. Because if we're not if we're not getting married and practicing commitment, that's what marriage is about. Monogamous marriages are about committing to one person and committing to the family and the legacy that you and this individual person creates. That's why marriage is such a significant thing to me, and that's why monogamy is so significant to me, not only because of its religious origin, but because of just the general practicality of it. A marriage is about the kids, but you have men today more driven by lust than love. And you have women today that are driven by a poverty-based mindset that is, let me find a man that's going to put as much money in my pocket as possible, as I can possibly get. That way I have to do the least amount of work for myself. Femininity is something that needs to be protected, not subjected to profiting. Period, point blank, end of story. That's my opinion. I want to hear what you guys got to say.
Monogamy, polygamy, they're all in existence. In Africa, some tradition allow men to marry more than one wife. Some religion allow men to marry more than one wife. The Islam religion allow men to marry more than one wife. Traditions in Nigeria allow men to marry more than one wife. Before the modern day, taking it back to our ancestral days, men married more than one wives, especially farmers, because they needed more hands in the farm. They needed to give birth to more kids. But I don't think polygamy is common these days, but it's still prevalent in the Islamic religion. The northern part of Nigeria, you have a lot of polygamy going on there, and it's normal to them. It's norm to them, and the girls were being groomed into that. They were being brought up in that environment, and they're open to it. Being a first wife, they know that their husband is going to get married to more wives, and it's normal. It's something that is normal to them. But for the black community in the US, I don't know if this is a thing. I usually don't hear about that, but what is common is baby mama. I guess their own version of polygamy is baby mama. That's what I think. So guys, this is all I have for you guys in this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.